The other day, I was sitting in my office, minding my own business, when I get a phone call from Brandon from TireJect proposing a very interesting challenge.
Hi Luke, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How are you doing?
Not too bad. I just wanted to catch up with you, and I know you guys are avid users and supporters of TireJect, and I've just been thinking about an interesting challenge that I think that you guys can pull off.
You know, I have lots of confidence in TireJect. I use it in everything from my bicycle to my RV, my truck, my tractor. Obviously, we use it around here on all of our ATVs, and it's never let me down.
You've seen us do just various puncture demos, just a few nails and seals it right up.
We've certainly put TireJect through its paces in the past. You know, in the shop alone, we've done nails and screws, and even I poked a screwdriver through one time and it sealed up just fine.
So I was thinking something more along the lines of a tire torture test.
This sounds like a pretty crazy idea, man.
I'm confident that it's going to work.
Brandon set out a very specific layout for this test. First and most obvious is to fill all 4 of our Defender's tires with TireJect. The next step was to build a bizarre, almost medieval looking contraption out of plywood and 2x8s with about 1,000 nails sticking out of it. Next, we're going to drive the Defender over both of these nail strips so that all 4 tires completely clear it. Then we're going to turn around and drive back over them again. The final step is to go on a trail ride to see if the TireJect can not only seal all the holes, but that the seal it creates is durable enough to stand up to real-world riding. I'm not going to lie, I have no idea how this is going to turn out, and to be perfectly honest, I'm very skeptical it's even going to work. There's going to be hundreds of holes in each tire, but at the end of the day, there's only one way to find out. So let's get started. This is such a crazy idea. I have a lot of faith in TireJect because I've used it in other vehicles and it does work, but I've never poked this many holes in a tire. I don't think anyone ever has on purpose. I don't know. All right, let's see how we did. Oh, this is cool. You can see where the holes are. The TireJect is already running out of the holes exactly how it's supposed to. And the tires were hot, so it's already even starting to dry a little bit. So, I mean, this tire isn't low. It's still holding there. If you look at the board too, you can see where the nails have TireJect all over them. Where this one came out, it sprayed out as the nail came out. This side, same story. Drips the TireJect on the ground, but tire's still full. So we started with all tires at 14 PSI. We'll go for the ride, we'll come back, and we'll check to see what PSI they're at after our ride. See if we lost any air to the holes. Interesting. Well, it was a decent little trail ride. We got into some water, we got into some mud, and for me, the most interesting part was the high-speed cornering, because that's where, you know, I mean, if your tires are gonna get low, you're gonna feel it in the corners, and they felt completely normal in the corners. Just looking at them now, you can see some of the little spots where the TireJect maybe was coming through, even some spots where the holes are. There's no more TireJect coming out of the holes now, which means they gotta be sealed. So, I mean, we were out for maybe an hour, and all of those holes are sealed up completely. Of course, the truth comes when we test the pressure in these tires, and that's the most important thing, to see if that proprietary blend in the liquid rubber compound to see if that sealed up the holes quickly enough and effectively enough to keep the pressure in the tires. So let's just see how much pressure is left in these tires. Remind you, we started at 14 pounds before we punctured the holes. That tire has 14 PSI in it. In fact, it has a little bit more because it's warm now. So this tire lost 0 PSI. All right, tire number 2. Let's see what happens. This tire also gained approximately half a PSI from where it was started at. And when we first did the test running over the nails, this tire had the most holes in it and the most, not the most holes, but the most visible dots of TireJect coming through. And again, as I said before, I can't see anywhere where the TireJect is coming through now. It's all dried off, but let's check the pressure anyway. It'd be crazy if they were all up half a PSI. That would be totally bizarre. And it is, up half a PSI. And finally, the front right tire. Yep, same as all of them. If it lost any pressure at all, it was made up for by the difference in the temperature. So it's warmer now than when we started, and that's made it up. But I would say that if anything, none of these tires lost more than about half a PSI. Not every nail went through. Some of them did bend over as we expected, but the majority of the nails went through, which means there's well over 100 holes in this tire, and we lost less than 1 PSI of pressure, even after a pretty aggressive trail ride on some rocks and through some water. I mean, I gotta give Brandon from TireJect credit. None of this was something that we made work. This was all real, exactly how it happened. You guys followed along exactly with us on what we were doing. So these are real results, and I was skeptical in the beginning, there's no question. I honestly didn't think this was gonna work. I thought we were gonna have to stop partway through and call Brandon and say, look buddy, this isn't working. This worked 100%. TireJect gets my official and our official approval, of a seal of approval, TRAX TV seal of approval for a product that appears to work exactly how they promise it will. And that's pretty impressive in my opinion.